Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Harrisburg City Council Legislative Session. Today is Tuesday, March 12, 2019. I'm calling this meeting to order at 6 o'clock p.m. Ms. Houston, please do the roll call.
Sure. Mr. Allett.
Present.
Ms. Bowers.
Present.
Ms. Daniels.
Here.
Ms. Green.
Present.
Mr. Madsen.
Here.
Mr. Majors.
Here.
Ms. Williams.
Present. Thank you. Moving on to the invocation, Mr. Majors.
We all could bow our heads for a moment of silence. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Mr. Major. Moving on to the Pledge of Allegiance, Ms. Green.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ms. Green. Moving on to communications, we have none this evening. And we're going to move on to courtesy of the floor. But before we do that, there's Resolution 13 that's on the agenda tonight, and Council has decided to vote on that. If you have any questions regarding that, please, when you come to the mic, you may address them at that time. Also, we have Resolution 16 and 17, and they both are going to be voted on tonight. So if you have any questions regarding that, please do so at that time when I'm asked for courtesy of the floor. We're moving on to approval of minutes. 16 and 17. Yes. Would you please read 13, 16, and 17 so the public can hear what those are that we're voting on?
Okay. Should I not read 18 and 19 as well, the ones for the...
No, just 13, 16, and 17.
Resolution 13-2019 is a resolution approving the disposal of certain personal property owned by the city of Harrisburg, which has exhausted its useful life for city operations, or has nominal value, no value, or less value than the disposal costs. Resolution 16-2019 is a resolution to recognize the 1100 through 1300 blocks of Walnut Street as Dennis Green Way, and Resolution 17-2019 is a resolution to recognize the 300 blocks of Emerald Street as Jacqueline Black Way.
Thank you very, very much. So at this time, I'm going to open up to courtesy of the floor. Anyone to my right may come to the mic, please.
Timothy Rowbottom, 333 South 18th Street, Harrisburg, 17104. I prepared a letter to, or an email to John Goshert and Jeffrey Ford with the FBI, and I was just going to read it for the record. I'm writing this to you as we have talked previously concerning issues in Dauphin County and the city of Harrisburg. I have come upon a new issue that backs up other statements made previously. To get to the point, the facts are as follows. On March 4th, 2019, I entered the Law Bureau's office with the intent of filing
Okay,
multiple...
I got to stop, Mr. Rowbottom. Let me say this to you. I will accept your complaint as you have it, or the letter that you have going out to the federal government. I must inform you, City Council is a legislative body, and as such, we do all of our work that we need to do for the city of Harrisburg at this session. It is a meeting that's open to the public. It's not a public meeting. Now, could you please address anything that we have on our agenda tonight? If you do have a complaint, I will accept that.
I was notified.
Make sure everybody gets a
I mean,
copy.
just for the record, I was notified by two different attorneys I talked to about the Sunshine Act and public written notice of the meetings, and that the only thing that you're allowed to stop me concerning is the amount of time, which has to be previously designated, for the Sunshine Act.
Mr. Rowbottom, Council President does have the authority to limit public comment to the topics that are on the agenda this evening.
So does, at the end where it says new business, old new business, does it follow under that?
No, sir, it doesn't. That's pertaining to what council members have. New
So you're
business.
excluding my right to be able to voice
Sir, Mr. Rowbottom,
again?
I want to take a copy of that and make sure that each council member receives a copy.
Okay.
Would you please give that to Ms. Houston? And we, if you want us to comment with that, we will be openly glad to sit down with you at our chambers. We're in room 305. Our number is
Again,
717.
just for the record, I just wanted on that you're violating the Sunshine Act on
Thank
the
you.
record.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Rowbottom. Anyone else to my right, please, may come to the mic at this time. Anyone in the middle? And anyone to my left? Thank you. Moving on, approval of minutes, approval of the legislative session minutes of February 19, 2019. Council members, are there any omissions, corrections, deletions? Hearing none, minutes will stand as approved. Moving on to reports of committee. Report from Chair Allett on the work session of March 5th, 2019. Mr. Allett, are you ready with your report?
I am, thank you. At the last work session, we discussed Resolution 10, which is a resolution, a resolution approving a professional services agreement with Trout, Ebersol, and Groff. This has been an ongoing engagement. We have utilized this firm to prepare reconciliations in advance of audits that we have to do annually. So this will just approve their contract. So I encourage my fellow colleagues to vote in affirmation of this.
Okay, are you done, Mr.?
Yep, that concludes
Okay.
my report.
Well, thank you. Moving on, Chair Bowers on the work session of March 5th, 2019. Ms. Bowers, are you ready with your report?
Yes, I am. Thank you,
Thank you.
President Williams.
You're welcome.
The Building and Housing Committee met during the council work session held on Tuesday, March 5th, 2019. Ms. Franshawn Beeks, who serves as the interim director of the Department of Building and Housing Development, shared updates regarding the lead hazardous reduction demonstration grant. Ms. Beeks shared some of the following. The Department of Building and Housing Development was awarded a 3-year lead hazardous reduction demonstration grant with a Healthy Home supplement by HUD on November 30th, 2015. The grant award performance period was December 1st, 2015 through December 30th, 2018. The lead-based paint hazard control and the lead hazard reduction grant programs are designed to identify and control lead-based paint hazards in eligible privately owned housing for rental or owner occupants. The department successfully completed 181 units. 44 outreach activities occurred between June 2016 to date. In terms of next steps, the department will execute a state agreement through December 2019 to complete 70 units. And due to their success in exceeding their goal, the city is eligible to apply for the 2020 to 2023 grant period. This concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bowers. Moving on to ordinance for first reading, we have none. Moving on to ordinance for amendment, we have none as well. And we move on to ordinance for final passage, we have none. Moving on to resolutions 10 of 2019. Ms. Houston, please read it into record.
Sure. Resolution 10-2019 was moved by Councilman Owlett and seconded by Councilman Majors. It is a resolution approving a professional service agreement with Trout, Ebersol, and Groff, LLP, CPAs and business advisors to conduct a reconciliation of the compensated absences, liability, and neighborhood fund receivable accounts of the City of Harrisburg for the year ending December 31st, 2018.
Thank you. Is there any questions or comments on resolution 10, council members? Hearing none, please call the vote.
Mr. Owlett,
Yes.
Ms. Bowers,
Yes.
Ms. Daniels,
Yes.
Ms. Green,
Yes.
Mr. Madsen,
Yes.
Mr. Majors,
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Yes, thank you.
Resolution 10 passes.
Moving on to resolution 12.
Excuse me. Resolution 12-2019 was moved by Councilman Green and seconded by Councilman Madsen. It is a resolution confirming the appointment of Ms. Sharon L. Banks to serve on the Harrisburg Human Relations Commission, HHRC, for a 3-year term.
That will be placed in administration committee. Moving on to Resolution 13.
Resolution 13-2019 was moved by Councilman Allett and seconded by Councilwoman Bauer, A resolution approving the disposal of certain personal property owned by the city of Harrisburg, which has exhausted its useful life for city operations or has nominal value, no value, or less value than the disposal cost.
Council members, any questions or comments on Resolution 13? Hearing none, please call the vote.
Mr. Allett?
Yes.
Ms. Bowers?
Yes.
Ms. Daniels?
Yes.
Ms. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Madsen?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Resolution 13 passes.
Moving on to Resolution 14.
Resolution 14-2019 was moved by Councilman Allett and was seconded by Councilwoman Bowers. It is a resolution authorizing the city of Harrisburg to award funding in an amount not to exceed $30,000 to the Capital Area Greenbelt Association for the performance of maintenance on city-owned land in the Capital Area Greenbelt.
That will be placed in Park and Recreation Committee. Moving on to Resolution 15.
Resolution 15-2019 was moved by Councilwoman Daniels, and seconded by Councilwoman Green. It is a resolution authorizing the city of Harrisburg to negotiate and enter into a professional service agreement with Thomas J. McLean and Associates Incorporated to develop the Chutes and Ladders Playground Project in Reservoir Park.
That also will be placed in Parks and Recreation Committee. We're now moving on to Resolution 16.
Resolution 16-2019 was moved by Councilman Majors, and it was seconded by Councilwoman Green. It is a resolution to recognize the 1100 through 1300 blocks of Walnut Street as Dennis Green Way.
Ms. Houston, could you possibly read Resolution 16? You have a
Read it?
copy? Yes.
Absolutely.
And I think the family of Mr. Green is here. Would you please come to the front?
They don't want.
Oh, okay.
I got it. You want me to read it? Okay. Okay, so Resolution 16-2019 is a resolution to recognize the 1100 block through 1300 blocks of Walnut Street as Dennis Green Way. Whereas Dennis Earl Green was born on February 17th, 1949 in the city of Harrisburg, and whereas Mr. Green and his family lived on the 1100th block of Walnut Street in the city of Harrisburg, and whereas despite losing both of his parents at a young age, Mr. Green went on to achieve many great accomplishments in his life. And whereas Mr. Green was a product of the Harrisburg public school system, having attended John Harris High School, which is now known as Harrisburg High School, and whereas after high school, Mr. Green was a student athlete at the University of Iowa, where he started as a halfback in each of his 3 football seasons with the Iowa Hawkeyes. And whereas Mr. Green graduated cum laude from the University of Iowa with a Bachelor of Arts degree in finance, and whereas in 1971, Mr. Green played briefly in the Canadian Football League and later worked as an assistant football coach at the University of Dayton, University of Ohio, and Stanford University. And whereas in 1981, Mr. Green was named head coach at Northwestern University, becoming only the second African-American head coach in Division I-A football. And whereas in 1982, Mr. Green was named Big Ten Conference Coach of the Year. And whereas from 1989 to 1981, Mr. Green was the head football coach at Stanford University. And whereas in 1992, Mr. Green became the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, becoming only the second African-American head coach in the National Football League, NFL, and the first to do so without ever playing in the NFL. And whereas Mr. Green was head coach of the Minnesota Vikings from 1992 to 2002, and afterwards spent 2 years as an analyst at ESPN. And whereas from 2004 to 2006, Mr. Green was the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, and whereas Dennis Green died on July 21st, 2016, leaving a lasting legacy that is an inspiration to the residents of the city of Harrisburg. Now, therefore, be it, and it is hereby resolved by the Council of the City of Harrisburg that the 1100 block through 1300 blocks of Walnut Street in the city of Harrisburg are recognized as Dennis Green Way.
Thank you. And Mr. Majors?
Yes, and thank you to our city clerk for reading that. Mr. Green was a phenomenal person from the city of Harrisburg, and we are just recognizing the block in which he grew up. to recognize that block as one of our champions in the city of Harrisburg. As an African-American man, he is one of the people that I actually looked up to. I knew several members of his family growing up, and Mr. Green would come back and give back to the city of Harrisburg in his own way, helped to guide the careers of some of our athletes that made it to the NFL that are from the city of Harrisburg. But we wanted to, take the time to recognize Mr. Green for his accomplishments and what he and the impact that he had on not just the city of Harrisburg, but the National Football League and countless athletes and young people throughout the country. We have members of his family here today. We thank them. Miss Green, Miss Michelle Green, brought it to my attention, and wanted to make sure that we champion the cause so that the family can have their recognition for such a illustrious member of our Harrisburg community. So thank you to the family, and I would encourage all of my fellow council members to vote in the affirmative on this resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Majors. Any other additional questions or comments? Hearing none, please call the vote.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Ms. Bowers?
Yes.
Ms. Daniel?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Madison?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Resolution 16 passes.
Thank you. Moving on to Resolution 17, 2019.
Resolution 17-2019 was moved by Councilwoman or President Williams. It was seconded by Councilwoman Green, and it is a resolution to recognize the 300 block of Emerald Street as Jacqueline Black Way.
Okay, would you read Resolution 17?
Resolution 17-2019 is a resolution to recognize the 300 block of Emerald Street as Jacqueline Black Way. Whereas Jacqueline J. Black was born on June 12, 1951 in the city of Harrisburg, and whereas Ms. Black was a product of the Harrisburg Public School System, having attended the former William Penn High School, and whereas Ms. Black was a dedicated and hard worker, having retired from Hershey Foods and later being employed at Turning Point's Early Education Center. And whereas in her lifetime, Ms. Black was a devoted and loving daughter, sister, aunt, friend, wife, mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother. And whereas Ms. Black was a beloved member of the Harrisburg community, who lived on the 300 block of Emerald Street in the city of Harrisburg for approximately 40 years. And whereas Ms. Black's devotion to her family was clearly shown on June 16, 2018, when Ms. Black helped 3 of her grandchildren escape a house fire by having them jump out of the second-story windows of her Emerald Street home. And whereas tragically, Ms. Black died on June 16, 2018, as she was not able to escape the house fire. And whereas Jacqueline Black's heroism, devotion to family, and love for the Harrisburg community shall serve as a lasting legacy for a life well lived. Now, therefore, be it and it is hereby resolved by the Council of the City of Harrisburg that the 300 block of Emerald Street in the City of Harrisburg is recognized as Jacqueline Black Way.
Thank you, Ms. Houston, and it's okay. Ms. Black was a good friend of mine as well. And tonight we have her daughter present with us tonight. I'm honored to designate the 300 block of Emerald Street as Jacqueline Black Way in recognition of a heroic angel, and that was Jacqueline Black, who courageously lost her life in a fire while making certain her precious grandchildren reached safety on June 16, 2018. Ms. Black was my friend, and she made a positive impact as a strong matriarch who held that family together, especially during difficult times, and they had a lot, as well as touching hundreds of Harrisburg residents with her kind spirit of giving and sharing her love, and always had her home open to anyone who wanted a meal or wanted a place to stay. My colleagues and I are asking the residents of this city to keep her spirit in your heart, for she was a special angel who was a wife, sister, mother, friend, aunt, grandmother, and great-grandmother, but more importantly, a wonderful citizen of the city of Harrisburg. Harrisburg City Council looks forward to attending the celebration of the street naming of both of our honorees. And at this time, I just wanted to give them a big applause, a hand. And to our daughter, thank you so much for attending this evening. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, please call the vote.
Mr. Allett?
Yes.
Ms. Bowers?
Yes.
Ms. Daniels?
Yes.
Ms. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Madsen?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes,
Resolution 18 passes.
thank you so much. Moving on to Resolution 18, 2019.
Resolution 18-2019 was moved by Councilman Madsen, and it was seconded by Councilwoman Green. It is a resolution to correct Resolution 2-2019, confirming the reappointment of Ms. Gretchen M. Little to serve on the Harrisburg Human Relations Commission, HHRC, by changing the term of service from 1 year to 3 years.
Any questions or comments, council members? We just incorrectly made it 1 year, it should be 3 years. Please call the vote.
Mr. Allett,
Yes.
Ms. Bowers,
Yes.
Ms. Daniels,
Yes.
Ms. Green,
Yes.
Mr. Madsen,
Yes.
Mr. Majors,
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Yes,
Resolution 7, I'm sorry, I did that backwards. And the last time, it should be Resolution 18 passes, and I
Yes.
should have said Resolution
17
17
passes.
passed. That's my correction.
thank you. Moving on to Resolution 19.
Resolution 19-2019 was moved by Councilwoman Green, and it was seconded by Councilman Madsen. It is a resolution to correct Resolution 3-2019, confirming the appointment of Mr. Kevin E. Burrell to serve on the Harrisburg Human Relations Commission, HHRC, by changing the term of service from 1 year to 3 years.
And this is the same situation with Resolution 18. We just mistakenly put 1 year, and it should have been 3. So any additional comments or questions, council members? Hearing none, please call the vote.
Mr. Allett,
Yes.
Ms. Bowers,
Yes.
Ms. Daniels,
Yes.
Ms. Green,
Yes.
Mr. Madsen,
Yes.
Mr. Majors,
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Yes,
Resolution 19 passes.
thank you very much. Council members, is there any old business? At this time, I'm just going to ask council members, we have in our present Christian from Maverick Solutions. If you would like me to suspend the rules so that you could ask them any questions that you have regarding the Maverick Solutions agreement? Anyone? Okay. Thank you for attending tonight. Any old business, council members? Any new business?
Yes.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Just want to announce the PA Municipal League sponsors a scholarship every year for high school seniors. It's called the John Garner Jr. Civic Engagement Scholarship. And I wanted to put that out in public record. There's information that can be picked up in the city clerk's office, but just some details. There are first place, second place, and third place awards beginning at $2,000, $1,000, and $500. The theme is Civics and You. Participants are required to write about opportunities in their community that allow for civic engagement and encourage citizens to volunteer to help with local challenges. As a helpful resource, you can check out the League's ebook, Civics and You, Your Key to PA Local Government, available under the Training and Development tab at www.pml.org. We all have copies of this, and anyone can pick up copies of this as well in our city clerk's office. So just wanted to put that out and encourage our Harrisburg seniors to consider and to apply.
Thank you. Any other new business, council members?
Yes, I'd just like to announce the Harrisburg Community Policing Director, Blake Lynch, was picked by Senator Toomey to attend the Army War College's National Security Seminar. So I just want to say congratulations to
Yes,
him.
congratulations to him.
And then also congratulations to President Williams, who was asked to sit on the census board. So congratulations to both of them.
Thank you.
Great leaders in our city.
Just to get sworn in by the governor.
Yeah.
Great. But thank you. Any other new business? Hearing none, we have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Meeting is officially adjourned.